welcome to my channel, you beautiful people. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and remember to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. So today was such a lovely day and I thought, why not go out and have a session in the park? So just a fun session here, people. Just started with some jumping, just using a log which has been carved and turned into a bench as well. So here I'm doing some press ups and just doing about 10 to 20 reps per movement. So, and you can also have a bit of rest in between. But here I went from press ups and then went straight into some plank push-ups here. And as for the plank push-ups, I did 5 to 6 on each side. So just coming up on you can alternate. You can come up on the right and on the left. But for me, I just did 5 to 6 on one side and then switched and did another 5 to 6 on the other side. So, and then straight after that, I went into mountain climbers and I did about 20 reps here. And just making sure when you're doing core workouts or any other workouts, you're keeping your core nice and engaged. Yeah, so for here, I just keep my belly button tucked into my spine and I make sure that I really focus on bringing that knee across my body. And then for here, I'm just doing some quick steps. Again, trying to keep the balance. It was so windy that there were times when I felt like the wind was just going to carry me away, like blow me off. Yeah, so it was crazy windy. But yeah, just trying to keep the balance. And then here I went back into some more jumps again, just doing about 10 reps here. And yeah, just a fun workout. Just making sure that when I'm coming off the, I'm not off the log, I'm not jumping off, I'm just stepping off. Okay, so just trying to keep a nice balance. Okay, so here I just did some elevated mountain climbers. So just elevated feet and just going into some mountain climbers. Like I said again, when you're doing your mountain climbers or your core workouts, you want to make sure you're keeping your core nice and engaged. So here, belly button squeezed into my spine as I did those. And then I just went back into some tricep push-ups here. So here now, making sure that I'm working from my triceps as I'm doing these push-ups. So elbows nice and close into the sides as I do these push-ups. Narrow, what do you call it? Not grip, is it? So just make sure your arms are nice and narrow. So here I just went into some glute bridge. So here I just added in a resistance band, but you don't have to use a resistance band. So you can do it without the resistance band. So just elevate in my feet again. And then just as I push up, making sure that I'm pushing through my glutes, keeping core nice and engaged. Just making sure that you squeeze in your butt at the top. So squeeze those glutes at the top. Okay, so just did about, I think I did about 15 with these. So working with about 10 to 20 reps per movement. Now remember, if you need to take a little bit of rest in between these movements, it's fine. I did take a little rest every so often. But yeah, so just a fun one, people. Remember, it's all about staying active. So here, I'm just going to do a single-legged squat. So just making sure I'm coming up through that leg. I'm keeping coming up through my heel, or my weight is planted into my flat heel or a flat foot. So here I almost lost balance. So yeah, it was so windy. But I had to take a couple seconds out just to readjust and then go again. So I'm doing about 10 reps of these on each side, if I remember right. But it's just about having a bit of staying active and just having a fun little session in the park. So remember, rather than stay cooped up in the house when the weather is nice and lovely, go out in the park. You don't need any equipment. All you need is just your body and just the space to have a good little fun workout. Staying active, people. So yeah, so that's what we're doing here. And so I've done 10 on one side and I just switched to the other side and doing another 10. It was so difficult to keep the balance. It was so difficult because it was so windy, and there were times when I was just like really struggling to maintain that balance, but I tried, pushed through, really tried to focus everything into staying centered. But as you can see, every so often feels like I'm gonna fall, or it looks like I'm gonna fall. Okay, so here I'm just doing the step up and literally just making sure when I drive up, driving my knee upwards into my chest, keeping up my core nice and engaged here as well as I drive that knee up. So you're gonna feel it through the quads, through the glutes, through the core, and just keep yourself nice and centered. Obviously much easier if it's not as windy as it was on this day. Okay, but we push through, eh? It's all about making sure we just stay active, like I keep on saying. Okay, so I think I did about 10 on each side, and then from there I just go into some dips, and you can always keep your knees bent at a 90-degree angle. It makes it easier, or you can have your legs straight like I'm doing here. And I did about 10-12 reps here, making sure you're keeping your hips nice and close into wherever you got your arms on, whether it's a bench or a log like I have. Okay, so this is round 2, and just going through the same movements again. Some reps were less than the first round, but yeah, and it's all about just having fun. So I just felt like I needed to do a little fun session, so I wasn't pushing too hard, although I was sweating. It was so hot, but really nice weather. So yeah, just going back again into the same movements like I said. So here we're going back into the push-ups again, keeping that nice neutral spine, core engaged, making sure pushing, working through my chest here as I do my push-ups. And then straight from there, again, we're going into those push-up planks and just doing about 5 on each side. So you can alternate, like I said, from your right to your left, but I tend to just do 5, say on the right, and do another 5 on the left. Okay, so straight from there, I went into mountain climbers again. So core engaged, making sure you keep that belly button squeezed into your spine. And just making sure as you drive that knee across your body, you're really keeping that stomach tucked in. Okay, so went back into these quick steps again, and just trying to stay centered as I do these. Yeah, being afraid of being blown away. I didn't do as many reps as in my first round, but yeah. And then from here, I went into some jumps again, and Remember, just stepping off rather than jumping off. So trying to keep myself centered, and the ground is not that even around where I'm jumping off or I'm stepping off, so I had to be really careful. So just remember, if you're in the park, the ground may not be as even. Just be careful when you're doing your workouts. You don't want to twist your ankle or something. Okay, so again, we got the elevated mountain climbers here, and then keeping the core nice and tight again, or core engaged, belly button squeezed into your spine, and just making sure you're not hurting your back. Okay, so going back into the tricep push-ups again, and keeping that neutral spine, core engaged, making sure keep those elbows nice and close into your side of your body, and just work push up through your triceps here. So you really feel that burn through the triceps. Okay, so here we go back again into the glute bridge, and again keeping that core nice and engaged, and making sure we're just working through the glutes. As we push up, we're making sure at the top, squeeze the glutes. You can even hold for about 2 seconds at the top, making sure you're squeezing your glutes before you go back down to the starting position. So yeah, it was a good session. So felt the glutes here. It's a good way to activate your glutes. But we just added this one into our workout, so it's a good one. Okay, so I just held it for a few more seconds at the end, for about 5 to 10 seconds. So going back into the single leg squat again, almost lost my balance again. It was so difficult. I'm not even kidding you. It was so windy. You can see my top. You can tell from my top how windy it looks. It was so bad. But just had to concentrate really hard. Okay, so just doing about 10 reps on each side before we switch. And then we're going to switch and do 10 reps on the other side as well. So making sure you pick a point that you're going to stare at that will help you stay centered, although it was so difficult. But yeah, that keeps you centered rather than having your eyes wander around, because then you're just going to lose your balance. So I keep on staring at the same point, and that just helps with my balance. Okay, so I'm doing 10 on this side as well. Okay, so now moving on, we go back into the step ups again, and I'm doing another lot here, and I think this one was the one where I didn't do as many, not the one before. So I didn't do as many here as I did in the first round. Must have lost balance or something. But yeah, anyway, so you should ideally, like in the first round, I did about 10 on each side. Yeah, and here I might have done 10 on one side and about 7 on the other side. Okay, so then went into some dips again. So as you can see, my hips are nice and close into the bench or the log, whatever you want to do. We are doing them on. Just keep your hips nice and close into there, and you can do them with your knees bent 90-degree angle. It makes it easier, yeah, so it's a bit modified. And then here, just going into the reverse plank and keeping my core nice and engaged, keeping my hips fully engaged, so fully pushed up, and then just kicking upwards, working through my abs here. So just literally did a few and then had a little break and then went for another lot with these ones. Just thought would be a good way to finish off the workout. But yeah, it was a fun little workout, people. Remember, most importantly, stay active. So go out and about, do your workout rather than stay indoors and do just chill and do nothing. Make sure you're going out and staying active. Every little bit counts. Okay, till next time, people, stay positive and please remember to please subscribe and hit that notification button so you never miss a video. So yeah, till next time, stay positive.